Hey there, David Duford at davidduford.com, where I help insurance agents like you become top producing insurance professionals with coaching, agent recruiting, and generally just trying to be a good resource to you. Today's going to be an interesting video because I'm really putting this together for people who want to get involved in sales and are kind of doing due diligence and want to compare the different opportunities that are out there. So if you're considering getting into the insurance business or also possibly doing something that's very popular like getting into the car sales business, I'm going to do kind of a 8-point explanation to think about and consider in order to figure out which of these options are best for you, so that you know where I'm coming from and what my agenda is in this. I am an insurance agent. I have been since 2011. I recruit agents to my agency. Obviously, I have a channel here, if you look around, that's all based off of insurance sales training. So I will try to convince you, if it makes sense. It may not always be that insurance is the better of the two. Why I think insurance is a great opportunity and why I think other opportunities, in this case, car sales, long term isn't necessarily the best use of your time or energy if your ultimate goal is to maximize your income, but also to actually create a business. With all said and done, the truth is you can have a good career in anything. Your job, really, despite what I would say, is to figure out what's right for you. Some do better in car sales and have a better time there, and that's certainly fine. Our goal should be, in a bigger picture sense, to figure out what our calling is and what makes our life more complete and enjoyable. And I'm going to give you why I think insurance, hopefully, is a better option. So, number one, work schedule. I think the biggest advantage that insurance sales offers is that you can sell insurance at your, maybe not the best word, leisure. Uh, you have complete control over how you sell insurance or when you sell insurance. You can sell it in the morning, the afternoon, at the kitchen table at night. Some of this will be predetermined on the kind of market that you're working. If you work a business market, you're probably going to sell normal business hours. If you work with people in their homes, like seniors or people, if you're looking to insure like mortgage protection, that's going to be nighttime and daytime work. So it just, part of that depends. Whereas car sales, you're stuck working when you're told to. And many times that's all weekend long because that's when a lot of activity hits the lot. And usually it's for 12 plus hour shifts. You are at the mercy of what the boss says to do. Whereas within the insurance business, you do have some control over your schedule. You can work when you want, the days that you want, take off when you want, because ultimately, for most insurance agents, you are a 1099 independent contractor, meaning you can't by law stipulate a work schedule to a 1099 operator. So you have, I believe, a lot more flexibility in your work schedule, and I think that for many people that leads to more satisfaction. By no means does this mean you should not be working all the time if you can. It just means you've got the flexibility. I really think anybody getting into the insurance business should be totally 100% committed out the gate, 6 days a week, to make this thing work, to give yourself the best edge of success. If you reduce that as little as possible or make this thing anything less than an absolute career commitment, your results are going to obviously show to the negative. Number two, the sales training. So this is one of those things where I think who does better is going to depend ultimately on the organization, whether you're in car sales or insurance sales training. I can tell you in the insurance business, there are a lot of organizations that if you are kind of looking around, seeing opportunities out there that have pitiful training. They don't spend time doing ride-alongs, analysis of your sales calls, answering your calls to underwrite cases with you. They really just put you in a position to go sell and hopefully figure it out as you go. There's some value in that for sure, but most people feel like having some preliminary detailed training on the sales process and the product knowledge is important. In the car business world, my understanding is you'll get a lot more of that, although I'm sure there's dealerships that don't even really care much about the training or don't really spend a lot of time at it. I did a series of videos recently on a car sales experience I experienced as a consumer, and my rep within a new $15 million building had absolutely no training. He didn't rebuttal very well. He didn't creatively handle the sales cycle so he could make a deal that would be appealing to me. And he just didn't have control of the sales presentation. So ideally, obviously, the training is going to vary from place to place. So whichever way you go, you should be really concerned about making sure that you're trained well. Product knowledge is really important, but just as important, if not more important, is how to make a connection with your prospects, how to ask them the right questions to figure out what it is they're looking for, and then how to think on your feet in order to make creative deals happen when you possibly got some resistance because the price is different or whatever. Both that kind of training is important in car sales and insurance training. Sales cycle. So this is going to depend on the product you're selling. Most people in the car sales business, it is a one-call close. They walk on the lot, they're interested in buying. Your job is to get them to a position where they find a car they like, and then to make a proposition on price that meets what they want and is feasible for them, and to get the deal today. You let a prospect walk off the lot, they're going to go to their competition, or they may sink back into their kind of normal routine and get out of the desire or need to buy a car. Final expense is one of the products I sell in the life insurance business. That's almost like that too. Now, we go to the client and we sit down, show them what we have, and ask for the business today because the urgency to buy life insurance is important. Do it while you're healthy. So there's a lot of similarities there. However, there are sales cycles that are longer depending on the product you're selling. One comes to mind is annuity sales, like what we teach agents to do. We generally don't move someone's retirement money to an annuity on the first call. It takes 2, maybe 3, depending on the dynamics and details, before we do that. So if you like a slower sales cycle, which means in some sense you get paid slower too, then insurance is possibly something to consider, because with the car insurance business, you need to think that this is the only time your prospects are going to be on the lot, and you got to close them. And yeah, there's going to be some pressure. Yeah, there's going to be some urgency created. But that's what it takes to get people to move, to make a decision, to commit. Number 4, the clientele. Again, in the car insurance business, it's going to be very similar to the insurance business. Much of the clientele that you get is going to be dependent upon either the cars that you're selling or the system in which people are brought into the car dealerships. So, for example, if you are selling a Lexus or a luxury brand, you're going to get a different type of client than you will if you're selling Kias or Hondas. It's just different mentality, different income levels. And so you're going to have, really, if you're going to get into car insurance, you should, to an extent, think about who and what kind of people do you like dealing with. Because, again, that brings on different dynamics of what the sales cycle is going to be like. Also, like the difference between traditional financing and creative financing. Buy here, pay here is going to be a different type of client than someone who goes to a bank and self-finances or pays cash. So, again, that's going to make a difference in the sales cycle. Still, I believe all one-call closes. And with insurance, it's the same way. I specialize as a producer and mostly recruiting as in the senior market. There are subsections of the senior market. So, like, for example, you may have someone who is a low-income senior and they need final expense protection to pay for their burial. It's a huge market. You may have a senior who needs help with Medicare. You have Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement. Those are kind of economically different price products, so that brings you different clientele. Or you may sell an annuity, and there's all different subsects there. So part of figuring out what's right for you is what kind of clientele do you like dealing with, and then finding, if you're going to sell cars, one particular organization that best matches that, or if you're going to sell insurance, do that. Number 5, the income type. So this is where really I think the deviation in the car sales business is greatly different, and I think better for those who go into the insurance business, both in the short and the long term, especially the long term. The one thing you're only going to get, unless you own the lot in the car insurance or in the car business, is you're only going to make money when you close a deal. You only make money when you sell. Anything that happens after that, when that client comes in to upgrade his or her car, get oil changes, have service work done. You don't get a payment or a part of that piece of the action. That's completely the dealership's money. Even though you made the sale, you don't own that client. That's the biggest difference with many of us in the insurance business, is that when we make that sale to the client, they're our client. We can go back to that client in many circumstances and sell them more insurance, or we can sell another product, like, for example, Medicare. We can sell them a renewal-driven product. So maybe we make that 1-year product, 1-year commission, but we get a stream of income for a number of years afterwards, just because they're our clients and we service them. Now, some products, like in this example, Medicare insurance, pays a higher renewal than, say, a life insurance product. So there's an ability to literally make passive income in the insurance business, whereas you couldn't do that in the car insurance business. As soon as you go on vacation or take off for a month, your income stops. But I'm at the particular circumstance in my business where, as an agency owner, all my income at this point is passive and overrides. I make I make commission, for me, income, based off of what my agents do. So I don't have to go physically out to see new clientele in order to get paid. My people are doing that for me. All I have to do is take care of them, make sure that they're happy. But this is something that I can get. If I want to go take a trip, like I did a month in Canada this year, my income doesn't stop. It keeps going. And that is something you'll never get. Never, ever going to get, unless you're in an ownership capacity in the car sales business. Now, in the insurance business, the nice thing is, with the right organization set up, not all are like this. Mine is. People who work for me are like this. But you own the business from the outset. And so that you own these clients in the sense that you can go back and sell them something else, and have the option to sell products that will build a renewal base, so that you can separate activity from the income you earn. Number 6, the prospecting system. Biggest difference is, if you work a car lot, people come to you. They run ads for you. They bring in the people to walk the lot. And you have no control of what you're going to get or how many people are going to come in. The nice thing in the insurance business is that a lot of what I teach is lead-based, where we are going out to see the people. We are calling them to set appointments. We are door-knocking them unannounced. Not cold, but with leads in hand to get an appointment on the spot to hopefully close them. So there's a lot more control over how active you want to be. I literally have agents that take 80 leads a week, that run 40 appointments a week. And I've got this guy right now, he's 22, and in August last month, he wrote $52,000 approximately in business. That's about a commission after expenses that he paid for his leads of around $35,000 to $40,000 in his pockets. He owns all of that business. All of that business is going to pay a residual. And he went out to see these people. That's the main thing. And he had complete control of it. If you didn't want to do that much, you could take 10 leads a week. That's fine. The point is that the insurance business allows you to take control of the marketing and lead generation process, whereas if you work in the car sales business, you're at the mercy of what the car lot does or what the brand of the company is. You guys probably remember, if you are old enough, when Toyota had those brake failures on their Priuses. I think that's what it was. And it ruined temporarily the brand image of Toyota. Think of if you were selling for Toyota and you had prospects coming in and you had to try to explain that off. You know, I think it turned out that it wasn't anything that was being caused by a design flaw, but it was a public relations disaster, and it had a direct impact on the car sales rep, and it was out of their control. So that affects lead generation. That affects people who come to buy, and it lessened that. Whereas in this case, look, you go out and you decide how much you want to do. You really have total control over that, which means a much better job of controlling your income. Benefits, you probably are going to get better benefits working for a large employer. Most car lots are like a conglomerate. Like Sonic is a big car lot. They own a lot of different dealerships. They're going to negotiate a better benefits package for your 401k plans, health insurance, all that stuff. With the insurance business, you could get benefits if you work for a big brand name company like New York Life or Northwestern Mutual. But many of you guys out there, if you go in insurance business, you'll be a 1099 operator. You'll get paid straight commission, and it's up to you. Like in my case, I have to self-buy or buy for myself health insurance, buy for myself life insurance, and create my own benefits package. The thing is, I think in the long term, with the ability to maximize your income, you're gonna be way ahead than being constrained within an organization that has caps on your earning and doesn't allow you to grow to the maximal extent that you can. So it's a short-term point of frustration, sure. Maybe you can get around it if your wife works and has benefits elsewhere. But long-term, I think it's worth it because the outsized amount of money you can make can easily pay for you carrying the whole cost of the benefits. And last but not least is, what is the income potential difference between car sales and insurance sales? Again, I think bottom line, the biggest benefit of selling insurance is there is no limit to what you can sell and the income that you can make. I know people right now, I can think of 2, 3, 4 people who've been in this business 10 years, 15 years. One guy is making a renewal income of $2 million plus. Because of all the efforts that he makes, and that's a year. He makes $200,000 a month. I know one other, and same thing with the other guys. They're around $1 million, $1.5 million mark. And there's nothing like genius about these people. They just got really good at a product and scaled it to its maximum. They built an agency around themselves. But even if you didn't want to build an agency, you just wanted to sell, you can make $250,000 with 1,000 cases of Medicare Advantage clients on the books. And all you have to do is service them. You don't have to constantly go see people 24 hours a day. So you can live this passive income lifestyle that you can't get with any kind of job where you got to go sell something to make money. And anytime you're going to work for somebody else, you're going to find that is the limitation. Is the money might be good. You might make $80,000, $100,000 a year, but you're on the lot 6 days a week. You're completely constrained by what the business does to generate prospects for you. And the day that you walk away from that, you have nothing that you own. You don't get that with you. You do get something completely different and better with insurance, completely built around the idea that you're building your own business. As much as you're in a sales position, you're also in the ownership of a business position. You get to create clientele. You keep that business if you have a good setup from the beginning. You own that income stream, and you have the longer term advantage of creating some of that, if not all of the income, like what I've done, as a passive income stream. So you don't have to work constantly to build it. You should in the beginning because it's well worth the investment. But long term, you can enjoy life. You can do something else. You can pursue your passions, whatever that may be. And you don't have to constantly be on the grind. And that's something that car sales in the traditional sense will never accomplish. So now you know why I'm so biased. I like the insurance business. I think it's cool. It's certainly not for everybody. It might not be for you. But if you want ownership of a business, if you want to sell something that benefits people, and you really want to be able to run your own thing, your own entity, and be in complete control of your life, I think insurance does a better job of it. And if you'd like to learn about how I help agents to do that, go to davidduford.com, click Join Dave's Insurance Agency. You'll get a bunch of different sales and marketing systems for different products that we sell, like final expense, annuities, others like Medicare Advantage, that will explain these systems in more depth and kind of tell you what the opportunity is. And you're welcome to leave a comment below if you'd like clarification, if you're interested in a sales opportunity and you'd like some perspective. I answer all the comments that are posted, absolutely everyone, and would be happy to help you out if you are looking for it, even if you don't do business with me. My name is David Duford. Website's davidduford.com. Hope you enjoy this video. We'll see you next time. Bye.